They basically said that because she was drinking so much, it was starting to affect her headspace and her brain. So I think they said it was alcohol-induced dementia. I want the family to become the guardian.
And you guys are ready to take care of her?
100%. As long as she has people around who are yes people, the same thing is always going to occur where she would ultimately just find any excuse to be by herself so she can get back to drinking.
It seems like Wendy Williams' health has taken a heartbreaking turn for the worse. Her son, Kevin Jr., has been speaking out about how their lives have been affected, saying that he's losing access to the resources they once had. Recent reports reveal that Wendy is now battling dementia and is no longer able to walk, talk, or even think clearly. Those close to her say she is just a shadow of her former self. This information has come to light following the release of a controversial Lifetime documentary titled Asterisk, Where is Wendy Williams? Asterisk, which aired in early 2024. Ever since her talk show was canceled, fans and the media have been speculating about her condition. However, many believe that airing such a documentary was disrespectful and should never have been allowed. The documentary seems to have opened the floodgates, prompting people to dig even deeper into Wendy's struggles. Her fans, who once admired her vibrant personality and bold commentary, are now left heartbroken over her decline.
Some of the issues that are being presented in this documentary have been there before, but it just really sped up over the last 2 years or so and just mushroomed into something that felt uncontrollable. She definitely cognitively has some things that are off.
Go to the Oscars? Oscars? Yeah. This weekend? What's Oscars? Well, the award show. Would you want to go to an award show and walk the red carpet? Yeah. Oh, you would? Okay.
Wendy Williams has become a shadow of her former self, and it's heartbreaking to see her struggle with everyday life. The things she once did effortlessly now seem like an uphill battle. Her decline has been widely discussed, especially since the release of a controversial Lifetime documentary. While it gave the world a glimpse into Wendy's health challenges, it also painted a sad picture of her current reality. She doesn't seem to have anyone truly looking out for her. Shockingly, even her own manager claimed Wendy was ready to launch her podcast, despite her visible struggles. Instead of seeing her as a person who needs care, many around her appear to view Wendy as a money-making opportunity. It's hard to watch as people prioritize profit over her well-being. Wendy deserves compassion, not exploitation. Her son, Kevin Jr., seems deeply affected by her situation. Wendy always showed how much she loved him, and their bond was clear. Without her, Kevin is left with his father, Kevin Hunter Sr., a man who has been criticized for being self-centered and lacking the qualities of a responsible parent. Some question Kevin Jr.'s motives, though, as Wendy funded much of his life. Although he's an adult, she reportedly supported him financially for years. Adding to the controversy, Wendy was reportedly paid just $85,000 for her participation in the documentary. Lifetime claims she consented to the project, but many fans don't buy it. It's hard to believe Wendy would agree to such a deeply personal story being shared for such a small sum, especially when her name and story could easily generate millions. Wendy's earnings from past work, like reruns of Asterisk, the Wendy Williams show Asterisk, could easily surpass that amount. The situation feels exploitative, leading many to question how much control Wendy had over the project. On top of all this, Wendy is under the guardianship of Sabrina Morrissey, which has sparked more questions about her care. It's unclear whether her legal guardian is acting in her best interest or if she, too, is part of the problem. Wendy's situation is tragic, and many fans are left wondering if she'll ever get the help and respect she truly needs. This once vibrant woman who entertained millions now needs a strong support system more than ever. While many have criticized Wendy Williams' legal guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, for controlling her life, Sabrina has now filed a lawsuit that sheds light on the situation. According to the lawsuit, Wendy was taken advantage of during the making of Lifetime's documentary. Even though Wendy was credited as an executive producer, Sabrina claims the project exploited her, as Wendy was diagnosed with early-onset dementia and aphasia at the time. These conditions meant she couldn't give proper consent to be filmed. Sabrina alleges that Lifetime and those around Wendy knew about her condition. If they didn't, as some might argue, all it takes is watching a few minutes of the documentary to see how vulnerable Wendy appeared.
documentary last night. I just feel like some things are better left unsaid or unshown, and I don't know if it's to expose what's happening around her, the people around her, and what they're doing to her. If it's for that, I guess I can understand, but I have to be honest, it made me so uncomfortable. I have to turn it off. Like I can't finish watching it. I know part 2 comes out today, but I just feel like there is no reason that we needed to see her in this condition, like with her eyes, her health, the alcohol. Every single person that is currently in her life does not have her best interest at heart. And this is so sad to say, but it's like when you're on top of the world, the last thing you think is that you need to get your affairs in order. That's the last thing you think, because you don't think the people around you are plotting against you.
Wendy herself signed the rights over in 2022 to this Lifetime documentary. That same year, Wells Fargo took over saying she was an incapacitated person. You tell me, how could she sign a legal document allowing cameras in your house the same year you're considered an incapacitated person? You have to be compos mentis to sign a legal document like that. Guardians are already suing. This is horrendous and should be taken off the air.
When Wendy Williams' legal guardianship was first established, many feared it would resemble the restrictive conservatorship Britney Spears was under. While details about Wendy's case remain unclear, reports suggest her guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, is making efforts to protect Wendy's interests. This includes filing a lawsuit on her behalf, but it's hard to judge someone's true intentions without all the facts. Only time will reveal whether Sabrina's actions genuinely serve Wendy's best interests. Wendy's family, however, isn't convinced. They believe she would be better off in their care. But some worry that her family might not manage her finances responsibly. Wendy's son, Kevin Jr., has been living a luxurious lifestyle supported by his mother's money. While Wendy has always loved her son and wanted the best for him, critics question whether he has the skills to handle her assets or preserve the legacy she worked so hard to build. Kevin Jr. has defended himself against accusations of recklessly spending Wendy's wealth. He insists that every expense was approved by his mom, who has always been generous and never frugal. Still, the situation raises concerns about whether those closest to Wendy are truly looking out for her well-being or simply...
I've never taken it with the Argus. I've always spoken to her, and she's always wanted me to spend her money.
I've got so much money. I want it for my son.
I want to give some love to my son, Kevin. It's me and you, kid.
Sometimes, having access to wealth doesn't mean you should spend it recklessly. Just because Wendy Williams was generous and told her son, Kevin Jr., to enjoy life doesn't mean he should live as if the money will never run out. Wendy can no longer work, and her financial future needs to be handled carefully. Unfortunately, Kevin doesn't seem ready to take on such a big responsibility, and relying on his father, who has a history of poor behavior, isn't a great option either. The public is heartbroken over Wendy's current state. One person said, "Asterisk, nobody deserves this." This diagnosis is devastating. It's like Alzheimer's. Memories fade quickly, the present is confusing, and the future is bleak. Asterisk, another comment read, "Asterisk, this is so sad." Wendy Williams was such a larger-than-life personality, and it's hard to see her going through such difficult challenges. Asterisk, a third person added, "Asterisk, that Wendy Williams documentary felt like exploitation. It was painful to watch because she's still Wendy, but just a shadow of who she once was. I hope she can somehow recover." Asterisk. The legal guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, recently filed the lawsuit, claiming the documentary took advantage of Wendy, who was diagnosed with dementia and aphasia.